math, was you have to look at these new things, and some of those costs were shifted into those other budgets. And we really did try to stay even, and it's a difficult environment to do that in. And,
Well, I think based upon, again, this is the narrative we started with yesterday, is we have an uncertainty next year. And I think increasing our budget is not probably the right thing, not knowing what we're going into, and until we have better understanding, we can't really spend more. We don't know what that is. So I think this is so much better as a better narrative to say, hey, we're not really, we got these additional revenue, but we have revenue. So we're not spending more over year because of that. We have
The budget also includes 8 less positions.
People, staff,
Yeah, we're not filling positions.
Parks director.
Planning, and there's 4 or 5 police officers.
Yeah.
So
And
you,
we planned to add new staff to help Christian get his stuff done and to help streets get more done, but we took it out.
you're eliminating already.
So you're hiring 2 though, right? 2 patrol officers or no?
That's
Filling.
There are vacancies.
There are vacancies already.
Yeah.
And then we are
They're coming.
we're moving that operations person from NPD over to get a chief for the fire department.
So you're eliminating the operations person by hiring the fire chief.
so we can't really count that one,
You
because.
can't,
It's a
trade.
Oh,
It's a net,
It's
it's
an
an
offset.
offset here, yeah.
But you are, there are 5, there's 7, 8 positions that you're not filling this year.
It just like I said, the math wasn't adding up for me yesterday. I was banging, I was at work today and it kept bothering me as I was doing it. And I was like, something's not right. And I couldn't quite figure it out. So that really helped.
So the narrative is you've got those 8 positions you're selling.
That's true too.
So don't lose sight of that, that's a pretty big number.
Yeah.
And there's 2 open positions in planning, and we smushed them together and are hiring 1 person instead of
Yeah.
filling both.
True.
Okay.
Yeah, we replaced
that's a reduction
We're
already.
replacing Don, so.
All right, so we go to common council now. I just want to make sure. And Josh.
Oh, that was
Thanks,
good.
Jim.
You're in the Lord.
I am.
You can leave
You
it
can leave it
open,
open
Jim.
now.
Yeah, she's got the alarm.
Going to have
Thank you.
people from the public that want to come in.
All right, I guess we're asking questions. This is where we start, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So my first question is professional services. We got 25,000 in. I know we talked a little bit about this yesterday from a common council, say can we reduce it down to 20? And if we did, what does that
I
harm
mean,
us?
we can take it back to 20. There's professional service dollars spread out throughout the budget wherever we can stick it. Because sometimes it's not included. It's a project that you don't have grant money on. You have to pay for design or advice, or, like when the hillside fell off on Michigan Road. We had to call the
Engineering.
engineers in and say, how do we fix this? What are our options? Because we need professionals to tell us that. But that has to come from somewhere. So there's miscellaneous professional fee dollars in here. I'm always short professional dollars. You're probably gonna see an additional appropriation come through for professional dollars this year. So I just try to add a little more where I can, give us a little more breathing room, but I can bump it down $5,000. You want me to take it back where it was this year?
And I'll just add that some of the projects we work on, you have a lot of those soft costs up front before you actually get to the project. Some are included in grants as reimbursables, some aren't.
Yeah.
So, professional fees is something we just, with the number of projects that we're doing, we always need more professional fees.
Yeah.
I mean, you can-
it's $5,000. At the
Yeah.
end of the day, it's not a ton of money. I'm just
Yeah.
asking you as a spend, right?
It's an easy
So-
one if you wanna
Yeah.
do it, but.
Yeah, but if we think it's just gonna go right back up, or we're gonna appropriate money
Yeah.
over there, then I'm foolish to go that direction. So, then the other thing is building and structure. we had 0 in it last year, and we got 8,000 in it this year.
Yeah.
What's driving the 8,000?
We've been trying for probably 3 years to get some security in City Hall. I mean, we're wide open.
If you attended the
Oh,
session today,
please.
we had training on
Live.
active shooter,
Yeah,
and the consultant basically said, I mean, we're all,
sitting ducks.
yeah.
So this
We
is
know
to
that.
get,
Where are you at? I'm sorry, what line are you looking at?
this is
Building
building and
instruction.
structure, it is 2026, what, there?
Oh, gotcha, yeah.
Plus,
Um,
it's not just that, Josh, and there's building and structure dollars also spread out in other budgets too, but it's for, if something breaks in City Hall, I mean, like, I paid for 2 or 3 new air conditioning units
Well,
this
that's
year.
it. The 1979 air conditioner we just replaced was, what,
Uh,
21,000
That
or
one was
something?
12,000 and the
12,000.
other one was 8, so I've replaced 2 in the last month.
1979.
So it comes out of places like that.
Okay, but this specifically, you have something earmarked for security wise, what are you looking at, access point,
So-
camera?
We
I would not discuss that on camera.
yeah.
Sure, I'm sorry.
Sorry,
Good call.
sorry. Jack.
Yeah.
Good point, but,
Yeah.
sorry, I'll ask you off
Yeah.
camera then,
But, yeah.
Oh.
but, okay.
But we've got.
Okay, and then coming down to Springdale Cemetery, we have 10,000 in for Springdale Cemetery. I'm gonna hit probably the nonprofits at this point, because
Okay.
knowing that we have budget concerns, I think giving money to nonprofits is something we need to look at cutting. I don't know that it's right to continue to give them more when we're cutting other things, so maybe, I don't know, Bob or Mindy, you guys can go through the nonprofits for me, because I got questions on all of them, so.
The one
Just-
thing with Springdale, in their bylaws, if they ever go belly up, the city has to take everything.
There's a reversion clause in there. So we're supporting them financially as well as with
We've become a citizen.
In
you.
kind.
Maybe better to keep, in my opinion, keep a little bit
What-
ahead of the game.
Well, I mean, yeah,
That's just one example. but
There's a
it's-
couple like that. Here's
so do
Jill's
we
the
keep
same.
giving them 10, or do we say, no, we'll drop it down to 5 this year, or do we keep giving them 10? Okay. All right, then what about the,
I think we talk about that almost every year.
I'm sorry, and I
No.
forget.
No,
Don't
no,
be
that's
sorry.
okay,
Don't
because
be sorry at all,
Okay.
because I think it's worth revisiting. Definitely.
with all the nonprofits, I think it's worth talking about.
Or you could talk about a percentage cut for nonprofits.
But that's
Which
what I'm,
we have done that the last
that's,
several
well, I
years.
mean, I have 50% on here, is just, hey.
We're
do we cut
probably
I have
half,
it circled as well.
we're probably half the contribution to nonprofits than we were about 4 years ago.
Mhm.
And we've honed them in on these categories, plus, as Patrick was describing, the Springdale because of the reversion, plus the Heritage Trail, there's numbers in there to give the Heritage Trail because of the importance that trail system is to the city. And you're either gonna financially support it now, or really support it later.
Forever.
And so the goal is to help them continue as operating entities to raise money and do everything they need to do to maintain Springdale as well as the Heritage Trail.
Okay, so if that's the case, what are we putting in place anything with them contractually or whatever to say, look, we wanna see in your budgeting, your financials, that you are putting aside X amount of dollars so that you have, a continuing fund, so if things start to go down and we have to take it over, we are taking over at ground zero or negative.
The answer to that is no, we've not injected ourselves into their operations like that. Now, there's another option, which rather than trying to manage them, so to speak, is to just say, hey, we'll give you some money, but you've got a capital raise as well and leverage it. So, that's a concept that we were talking about on the way up here.
Dollar for dollar, we'll give you $25,000, you can get raise $25,000. I mean,
There's
they get-
more we can do,
they get a little bit
but
of
to
money
get to
from the
where you
railroad.
wanted, which is they need more solvency,
Right.
it's just a real struggle on two entities like you just described, what we were talking about, Springdale and Heritage Trail. There's not great revenue sources for them. It's not like they're selling a service.
And Heritage Trail's been having trouble this year maintaining the trail system. Their main guy is getting aged, and they don't have so we've asked the question, so we just asked the question, what's your plan for the next 5 years on maintenance? Because it does have an impact on the budget. I think the railroad gives them,
I'm not sure what they
Do they buy to get.
But
I don't know.
Springdale though, Springdale, people are buying plots, right? I mean, there's a price to pay to be buried there.
But-
and-
You know, if you want, we could have John Musil come to council and share with you what's going on in Springdale. Your sister's down there, you're probably familiar with Springdale.
okay.
But yes, people are buying plots, but not at the velocity, and a lot of people are being cremated now instead of buying burial plots. So, you know, they are investing down there too. We did that with our PACE program. They're restoring the chapel, which is gonna be absolutely beautiful. I think that they're doing a good job with our assistance in maintaining a extremely large cemetery.
What I understand over the last few
yeah.
years too, they've kind of turned their finances around a little bit. It was trending downward
Down.
very badly. for
I
a
think
while.
that John Musil and Mr. McKay
Yeah.
have done, I mean, God bless them. I mean, they're doing
Because
work
I'm sure
that
it's not, very
it's
high.
not, a lot of people are gonna step in
Politicians.
and do that voluntarily.
And I do know they're fundraising, cause I got a letter in the mail
Yeah.
yesterday or something.
Yeah, whenever you're.
Yeah, so
Me
I
too.
mean,
Me too.
so, you know, I mean, they're at least trying, right? I mean, I know
Right.
it's not like others in town, so.
You know, so it's kind of wrapped in that whole conversation on the nonprofits, which is, you know, true, we're tightening up. They're also, sources are also drying up. But those are the entities that we're, providing resources to are serving in our mind, creating tremendous value for our community. So it's one of those things, like the categories here are at-risk youth, seniors, veterans, and parks. And we don't do the shotgun approach anymore, which is, hey, anybody that comes in, apply for it. We've been very targeted on it, and it's probably half the amount of money than it was 4 years ago.
Okay.
But worth, you know, again, if you want more detail on their specific operations, or if you wanna, you know, cut it or create a matching requirement, there's a way to leverage these dollars.
Well, I mean, so that sounds like Veterans,
Yeah.
Springdale, you know, and, you know, Veterans is already 5,000, so it's not, you know, but Springdale, we can. Lifetime, you know, what if we went down to 4? If we, you know, you know, what's
Yeah,
the?
Oh, we
just
tried
got-
that, did you
Do
try
not
that last
remember
year?
that?
Don't you remember the big outcry at
I
council?
just got, we've cut them to 8,
Oh, no.
we went to 11, I think, and then 8. I
It
just,
was 0, it was,
I've
you added it
got
back in.
2 letters
We
from
added it back in,
her.
It must have been the year before I got.
2023,
Yeah.
I remember it well.
Okay,
Yes, I've gotten 2 letters from her, just got another one today requesting
50?
50.
Well, they have the whole.
The big thing on that one is Catch a Ride, they provide that Catch a Ride service. And the, senior citizens in our community were very upset when we
I'd
were
still
They
gonna.
do a
like
lot
to
of
know
medical
how many
transport
people ride those
through Catch a
buses
Ride.
in a year.
I have one aunt, one uncle
For,
that ride
for
them.
what,
Yeah.
50 cents, $1?
$5, I think it's $2.50 to get there, $2.50 to get back.
Okay, then they've raised their,
They also,
that's
they
good.
also get, what, $1 million a year from the feds.
They get their Fed grants.
yeah.
But
I
they
know they're
need-
getting money
they need
elsewhere.
They have a big
support
district
to
too,
support
they have
their
to
Fed
support.
grants.
Right, I was saying,
I think, what is it like 8 or 10 county region, they have a region.
Yeah.
It's huge.
And then, I'll,
Yeah.
I got 2 more, and then I'll be done.
I have a couple more.
At-risk youth is 25,000, it's our largest.
Yes,
If we went down to 20, or we think we cut that one somehow, you know, it always hurts, right? I'm not
Yes, it
saying it's not
does.
gonna hurt, but, you know,
Is that the youth shelter?
it's
the
boys,
Goodwill
Lifeway
Shelter
Boys and Girls Club, Youth Shelter are the
and
2
Boys and Girls.
primary, and Girls Inc.
Oh, so that's 3 different organizations that share that money?
Yes, and they are, again, you look at the youth that they serve, you know, Ray Black said it best one time, you're either gonna support it on the front end or on the back end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, there's some truth to that.
I think knowing that 3 groups share
you're
that
at
money
risk.
does make a little bit of difference. I was just thinking it was one,
well, I didn't know exactly which group,
yeah.
to be honest.
And,
Those three.
well, the one thing I'd say, and I'm not saying we wanna change it, but, it used to be, when I was on council, it was a higher number for Boys and Girls Club, cause they serve so many kids, and a lower number for Girls Inc., because it's a smaller number of kids. But she really advocated for equal, right, cause they're doing the same kind of service. We have provided them equal funding, and cut them both when we cut. When we look, I ask them every year, how many people do you serve? I mean, there's a discrepancy there.
Sure.
That's one but I'm not saying it's.
But it's still spending the money, it's just a matter of how we spend it.
I hate to nickel and dime on something that's got a visible contribution to the community. They,
Yeah,
out of, you know, what, 16 million or whatever throughout the whole thing. If we were cutting, you know, if we weren't even the 1% increase in spending, if we were pulling back by 1 or 2%, then I think it'd be real easy to say,
Okay.
yeah, you got it, because everything's just getting slashed, but.
Alright, my only other one is the animal shelter.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about that one too, another $10,000.
Yeah.
Did somebody come and ask specifically, or is there, I know they're talking about building a new building, the county, at some point. You know, they're looking at specific land out by the jail and stuff. I don't know how close that is, but,
We are, if you remember in 2020, I believe it is, we entered into an interlocal agreement with Jefferson County. And the interlocal agreement had sharing arrangements of their revenue streams and our revenue streams, right? And it was done primarily to create a contribution from the city towards the new jail. But in exchange for that, they supported our historic preservation and our economic development efforts. There was a separate interlocal agreement with the animal shelter, which is in the building on the property that the city of Madison owns, that is operated by Jefferson County. I think they're doing a really good job managing it. That used to be governed by another board with a separate interlocal agreement, and over the years, it crept up to about $60,000 until the commissioners essentially dissolved that board, and then we've been working on kind of putting the pieces all back together. So we have a draft interlocal for the animal shelter and for new provisions in the main interlocal for the public safety lit tax that we're working on that will create a phenomenal benefit for us, as well as more sharing of some of our revenue to support the animal shelter. So this contribution here is only if we sign a new interlocal agreement. And that interlocal agreement would have to come through council, as well as the commissioners, as well as the county council.
and is that something that would happen before the new year?
I've been working on it since January, so I hope so. I
There's
really
another
do.
meeting tomorrow, or Friday.
Friday, Commissioner Bramer and I are meeting to go over those. Documents have been drafted. We're trying to get to the finer details, but that's what that 70 is. So it's a $10,000 increase of our prior, but they do need to build a new facility. And, they're in the design stages for that,
And they're looking at different property, right?
but the jail.
Jail, right?
At the jail. So, I would just say that, you know, that is part of a broader conversation with other things in it. And keep in mind too, that, you know, they are supporting the Madison County Connector Trail. They made a 20-year pledge toward the Crystal Beach project. So there's we work together on a trash interlocal. We have a lot of integration between Madison and Jefferson County, and that's just one small piece of it.
And so you said we own the land that the shelter's on, right?
It's our
now?
building and land.
The current one, yeah.
So what would, it gets off budget, so, you know, you don't have to give a long one, but
Yeah.
what would be the plan with that land? Anything,
Well,
nothing right now?
Yeah, I think they're still a couple of years away probably from a new structure. So we'll have time to think about that.
There's a
But
lot going on in that part of it.
I will just say, I think they're doing a very good job managing the animal shelter, but the need is huge. You probably heard about the incident yesterday
Yes.
with the animal cruelty.
It was on the news.
It's, you know, that engages everybody and as well as the shelter resources to the extent that can help. But they do a really good job over there.
Thank you.
But that's just background information, why it's 10,000 more and then what else is in play.
The DOC, are we going to 2 different crews?
We have 2 crews. Our contract was always 85, it was a 5-year contract, it expires at the end of this year. They want to, I don't know if they wanna renegotiate, if they just wanna re-sign it, I don't know where we're gonna land. I will tell you, we've had the benefit the last couple of years, they haven't billed us.
Okay.
So I put it back in because they are billing us now,
Okay, so, but why did we only do 45 last year?
cause they haven't been billing us.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just, you know, when you get
Very
90%.
generous.
We got the benefit of that
Okay.
for at least
It's
2
any
years.
benefit,
Okay.
positive benefit to the city.
I mean, overall, it's almost 15% down, so. Okay.
The budget,
Well,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's
But
moving,
some of that was moving.
it's
some-
moving that police stuff out. We took $300,000 out of that budget to get the police right-sided in their own budget.
Yeah.
Right.
Gotcha.
So,
But you also moved, did the perf move back in?
Yes,
Yeah.
no,
No, that was always there? Okay.
the perf was always there and,
'Cause it-
It's
this,
huge.
this is only perf for you guys and BPW.
Okay,
But the perf for, the FICA perf for police is back in their budget. That's why
Okay.
theirs is such a big.
the 90%, okay.
Would cell phones for city council fall under this category?
Yes,
Yes.
I would like to separate my personal from my council.
So would I. I would love it if my personal phone number was not on the city website.
What if, instead of that, we use our Microsoft Team accounts to set up phone numbers? We have, well, Microsoft accounts, which we have through the city. You can install Teams on your phone and sign in with that city account. You can get a phone number for that, like a Grody.
Yeah.
I have a desk phone, I don't have a desk phone, I have a Teams phone number.
It's a
So we
virtual.
send you like a
it's a virtual
video.
phone.
Not-
You
it's
just
not
use a
video.
headset.
Oh, okay.
with it?
So it's a virtual type phone.
Both
setup.
my work phone and my personal phone have
Yes.
Teams on it.
Yeah.
My laptops, both have, my personal laptop and my work laptop have Teams on them.
Right.
If anybody dials my desk number, they will,
It hits
it
your.
rings on all 4 devices if they're all active.
It does.
Sounds awesome.
That part of it is not.
You don't have to do that.
Oh, no, you don't have to do that.
And you
It's just
can-
that. Work.
You can disable,
Dude, not doing that.
you can disable those things, but
Never
you could,
mind.
you could put Teams on that phone, on your phone.
Yeah.
And then you
It would
could
just be
put hours that you're available and not available. You could put, you have disturbs on it, you
Yeah,
could.
vacations.
The thing is, he says that, but that's all, that he's saying because all the equipment that's ringing on, or should be ringing on, is all his business, Grody owned.
Right.
Type of equipment. Now then, if that's his personal phone, he has Teams on there, there's a segregation, there's a curtain in there, so no one knows his personal number, and so it is curtained off, so when,
Yes.
you know, if he, you know, you ever leave Grody, he's not, but if you ever leave Grody, then, you know, that's easy to take that off, and no one has your personal number either, and the Teams is gone.
Is there, do you know, is there an additional charge for that?
I don't, off the top of my head.
Teams?
I can check with our IT
We
team.
have Teams, I don't know about setting up the VoIP, boy,
Yeah, the boy.
they're probably something, but I'm
We may, you
fairly
guys,
certain it's less than a
Or-
cell phone.
or you-
Less than 7
or-
cell phones.
or
I'm
you-
not carrying another cell phone.
or you may need to have a Teams account
But it
at
would
City
be-
Hall
You
or
just
something.
list your Grody
I mean, we
number.
all have it. Everybody who has a
Could be
Microsoft
easier, I don't
license
know.
has it.
And City Council has it.
It would be cheaper
They have it,
than
yes.
getting cell phones, and then that
So-
way you're
Yeah.
Still
not
need
getting your
segregation.
personal phone out.
I'm
Unless you
making a
guys want-
note, I
unless
will
you guys
check
want
with our
that.
IT department and see if there's
Well,
additional
I
cost for
think
that.
so.
If not, it seems like an easy answer.
Good, then you're, yeah.
Yeah,
You don't
and
want to
it
take
may,
That might not be a bad idea.
You
and
could do
run-
iPads.
Run the video IP number to the iPad and then mirror it to your
And then
phone
mirror
as
to your
well.
phone, so that's
Right.
the other thing I'm just thinking, and then you don't have to have all that paper.
It's a possibility.
At least it's a way to get my personal number off the website.
Right.
Okay, I will get back with you on that. I'll check with him tomorrow.
if you need any more.
We're just not as
background
techy
info,
as Joshua.
feel free to give me a call or whatever.
Okay, thank you.
So, speaking of techy stuff, the, whenever we do remote meetings or somebody calls in, we're definitely lacking. It has been a struggle. And there's probably some very minimal spending we could do to make that much better. I sent you a couple links for like a USB webcam and, was it a speaker or something maybe, or?
Yeah, it's the problem is when you're on that end, when you're remote, the sound bounces around in there, right? It sometimes just cuts it all out completely. It just goes dead, is what I have found, but, I'm happy to.
And this
look
is,
at-
I should have been better about getting down there to talk to you during the day sometimes when we figure this out, but I think there are a couple of easy solutions
Okay,
that are a couple $100 or a few $100, not thousands,
Okay.
that we can come up with, and I guess the question becomes, is there anything, whether in this year's or next year's budget, where we have a couple $100 that we could use to make that more tenable? Because right now it's
I agree,
bad.
I
Building
agree.
and structure.
Let me follow up with you and
But that's where we go right now.
get
Yeah.
your suggestions and then,
There's also, you can also spend a few $1,000s, make it really nice, but I think there's a way to do a fairly cheap, big improvement
okay.
that,
Would that also be something if we had tablets to help with the phones as well, if they, I mean, would that be,
I don't think that's the case. It's different than that. It's
it's
more,
really the hardware in City Hall, but
right. Yeah, it is more your wiring and the connection than it is the actual hardware itself. And,
Is it the sound that's the issue?
so more
Latency.
recently, it's actually the video.
it's the
Honestly,
latency.
it's the webcam. So the last meeting, Mindy's using her laptop. It's on Teams,
Mhm.
connected to me. She has to use it to present to the screen, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the only person I can see
Is me,
is Mindy.
sorry.
So I'll turn on the YouTube
Yeah.
live.
Yeah.
It's 5 to 10 seconds delayed.
Yeah.
So I'm hearing the audio over here. I'm trying to watch delayed video of what's going on
Yeah.
and seeing a
Yeah.
presentation through a camera.
Yeah,
And I think there's
You're thinking of adding like
Actually-
another camera itself or something that's external to the
Yeah.
computer and
That might be,
which you wouldn't need anything big, just a webcam.
I must have
Then
a
there's
worker at home, but
that.
yeah, there's a simple USB webcam. They make some good ones for $100. These are $100. You can put one of these at the chair,
mhm,
put the webcam above it, and now my head's right there, my viewpoint's right there.
yeah.
Uh,
Cause that's the
you can have
problem
this-
is
the
once my
microphone.
computer's hooked up for the presentation, then you're stuck there.
So,
The other option, like we have, where we have what's called an owl.
yes.
And you put the owl in the middle and
Yeah.
it's 360-degree
Oh,
video,
yeah.
or, what you
Yeah.
can see in the room.
Those are
Yeah.
more
And the
costly.
sound is, you can get sound from all over and it cuts out when it needs to, I mean, they're really nice.
They are great.
But I don't know
for
what
a
an owl
room.
would cost
They're
for
great for
City
a
Hall.
room this size. We looked at that first.
For City Hall?
Before we did the 2-camera thing, we looked at the owl, cause that's what the airport uses.
Yep.
And the problem is it gets confused in a big room with a lot of people talking, and
Good
you're
point.
never gonna keep the talking.
It wouldn't be good for YouTube Live, but it may be okay for the Teams remote connection. But
For the
either way,
viewers.
those are definitely towards the $1,000
Yeah, that
plus
is.
range. But we need to get together,
Okay.
and I need to make sure that happens too, but, so we get together. I think there's some, at least cheap options we can try out first, and then before we talk about something more expensive, because, this stuff could range from a couple $100 to $10,000
Right.
to different options, but.
What falls under promotions on council, Mindy?
On council, it's, like I will pay for your dinner last night out of there probably.
Okay. Okay.
Just miscellaneous, stuff like that, if you guys,
At a
are
conference,
at a
dinner.
conference and you we go to dinner or
Okay.
something like that.
Have Shirley update the name of that to miscellaneous, or
There is miscellaneous in
is
here.
there another miscellaneous?
There's a CC miscellaneous. It's at 15,000.
I don't usually like the, things more up into miscellaneous, but,
I know, I don't either.
promotions is almost more vague for what it seems to be used on than miscellaneous would be.
Well, now where you
Well,
buy some-
usually
you
that's
buy some
like
tickets.
if you're,
Now where you buying tickets to, for like,
Well, like if somebody goes to an
Tables at an
AIM thing,
event.
so I
yeah,
think
if you go to an AIM
table
thing,
event.
that's.
travel
that's fine.
and meals, would be a better line item.
Didn't there used to be a travel line item in common council? Maybe several
I-
years ago.
I think he's the only one, and Nicole and maybe you have travel budgets. I don't remember if there was one in council, we just tend to take everything out of that line. I'm happy to call it whatever you want.
And you can see, she wrote us a note on that 15,000 for miscellaneous to pay for light pole banners on Main Street and Michigan Road.
They need to get
Specifically-
replaced and,
yeah, they're not, they
there's
disintegrated.
Yeah.
But promotions is not paying for newspaper posting, like the meeting's gonna happen.
legal notices,
Legal
no.
notices, it's-
There's, he has a line in his budget for legal notices.
Okay. Just, yeah.
My
cleaned a lot of these up over the last few years, the line titles, so that seems like that's one of them that just hasn't been touched
I can
yet.
put it for training and travel if you want.
That might be a pretty good one, yeah, it's a
A little more descriptive.
description.
Maybe training, travel and meals
Yeah,
because.
and meals, yeah, that way it's pretty clear, that's what it is.
Sure.
I have two things on this budget if
Go-
everybody
yeah.
else goes.
Anybody else on council?
I don't know if this is the right place to put it or not, but probably need to appropriate $10,000 for the JCAT program that comes out of our opioid settlement funds. And, you know, we launched the program this week finally after about 5 years of work at the Jefferson County Jail. It's a jail chemical addiction program. It's going to be phenomenal. Working with the city, the county, and Bethany Legacy Foundation put together a 3-year pilot program. You've probably heard us talk about it a lot or seen the news on it. And we're funding our 3-year commitment out of our opioid settlement funds. And those funds are broken down between restricted and unrestricted. And what I'd like to do, it's a $30,000 a year commitment. We've already funded 2025, so we got 26 and 27 to fund. I'd like to go ahead and appropriate 10,000 for that, just to make sure we have enough to move into our 2026 commitment. And that money, so that's not coming out of any other sources except the opioid settlement funds. But in order to spend it out of that opioid unrestricted monies, it's got to be appropriated like anything else in the general fund. So I'd like to go ahead and just prepare to have that in there. Because here's the thing, if we don't do it now, and then we get to making our commitment next year, I'd have to come back and do an additional appropriations.
So, I'm sorry, are you talking restricted or unrestricted?
I think
Unrestricted.
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 And that goes
So
into
then,
general
do I
fund.
need to, wouldn't I need to appropriate it out of that fund? So I need another budget sheet for that,
Well,
not,
we're trying to figure that out. Is that what we have to do?
otherwise
Can we
you're gonna
not
have
put
to
it
do a
in here
transfer.
and put that appropriation number in there, which is where we're spending it from?
It's not in the general fund.
I just wanna raise it, maybe we'll figure out how we get it into the budget. I just don't wanna have to come back next year and do an additional appropriation.
You're right, you're gonna, if you do it that way, if you appropriate it, say, out of council's budget, knowing we're gonna take it out of that one, you're gonna have to do a transfer.
Well, I mean, so,
So you're-
or then maybe, so
It's 6 and 1/2
We
dozen.
still have
Just
to,
make it so
we still have to come
capital.
back to us. if we do a transfer.
maybe we just go ahead and do a separate sheet for it.
Yeah, I'll just do it
Yeah,
at 10,000,
okay.
because there's 40,000 in there right now.
Yeah.
So that's is that an existing fund?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So we've got, for the opioid settlement, we have 2 funds, one
Yes.
restricted, one unrestricted.
yes.
Yeah.
We have 30,000 in restricted, and I just lost it, 55 in unrestricted.
So those are, we aren't currently budgeting for those funds, right? Just there.
If you spend from the unrestricted, you have to appropriate it like you would your general fund. And then there's a whole settlement agreement that's about 50 pages long that has the approved uses that have to be some relationship to opioid recovery, support, education, you name it. It's very broad, but that's how we're primarily funding our JCAP.
Without making this change, Shirley would have been at zeros in that fund line item for appropriations.
Yeah.
We would have had to come back and do it later.
Yeah.
So we just need to budget for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the second thing is about the budget. And it kind of came up last night, if you were kind of listening to the conversation, particularly when we got to the airport, because what's on the council agenda on Tuesday is an additional appropriations to where the airport is one of those, where they had all that money in the, I think it was in the NRO account, and they were spending it, but they didn't have a proper amount appropriated for what they spent it on, it went negative. So they have to move the money, they have to move the appropriation or create an appropriation in that line item. The money's there, it's not costing anything else, but we're having that issue very frequently now, particularly in appropriation line items that were small. And if you'll notice throughout this budget, there's $500, $1,000, $1,200, $1,400. Well, when you get to $1,401, it shuts down on you now. And now what we have to do is create this whole process to appropriate money to increase that line item to pay the bills.
The bills will not get paid.
And I talked to Shirley about this, and the right thing to do is look at those small accounts, kind of what we're doing here, and what Brian was talking about last night, and consolidate some of them.
Yeah.
So that you, and I think maybe even, you had a really good suggestion
he
too.
pushed that, well, that one, they may have shoved a little too much shit into it, but, that was the whole thing was that, was $500,000 or something.
No,
$150,000
The
miscellaneous.
whole budget was basically the hundred.
Yeah, but
Yes.
and he was
Yeah.
right in what he was telling you, which is, if we break this down and be really granular with it, there's a
There's a balance.
trade-off,
It's
right?
all you do.
It's a
Every
lot of-
single day, I
lot of
get
work.
transfers.
There's just.
$435 bill on a $400.
And we don't have to decide on that now, I'm just saying is that we're seeing throughout this budget a lot of really, really small accounts, and it creates enormous work
Yep.
when you go over that. And so to get more efficiency in the accounting and the administration of it, some of these appropriation accounts need to be aggregated.
So here's what I will add to that. I prepared the budget like I always do, so you can see where the money goes, because I think that's important. When I was on council, it was important to me. I don't like them rolled up going, what am I funding?
Miscellaneous.
Right?
Mhm.
But this year, because of what we've gone through year to date in transferring $1.89 literally, what I intended to do, unless you object to it, was let you look at all this, we'll make whatever adjustments are needed, and then when it comes time to take all this and put it on a Form 1, which is what has to go into the gateway, I can roll up salaries in each budget to one line. I can roll up all the benefits into one line, doesn't matter what the benefit is, roll it up into one line. It will do two things. It will give us a bulk of money that when Jenna goes to pay the benefit bills, she knows what line. It makes it easier for Shirley to input into the gateway because there's much fewer numbers on the Form 1, and it all has to be entered by hand. And it will make it much easier on the payroll clerk because she doesn't have 50 different numbers to take FICA perf out of, this employee, that employee. We can just roll it up in a ball and say there's plenty of money there, take your Anthem out of it, take your life insurance out of it, take your HSA out of it, whatever. So unless you object and we don't have to make a decision now, I think that would help. It will take some work, obviously, but what I'm saying is when you get your fund and appropriation reports, or your appropriation reports are gonna look different. They're gonna be smaller.
Well, yeah, I mean, like the mayor budget has something like 30 different appropriation line items in it, or, I could tell you how many line items are in the city council budget. The administrative work that we're creating now is really high, it's
There's
really,
39.
really significant. What's that?
There's 39.
There's 39 line items there, 39. And so now I think we need to be cognizant of the fact that we're creating a lot of administrative work that is form or substance in many instances.
I think benefits and salary and all of that, that's easy to
Yeah.
lump into one, that's a known expense, it has to go in and it has to
There's
go
a
out.
separate salary ordinance and.
Yeah, that's,
We really should be controlling that by the salary ordinance, not by the, more so than the budget.
yeah, but the other stuff, it's nice to be able to still see.
I agree. I mean, I feel that way too, but we could take supplies, anything that's considered a supply.
Yeah,
So you can set a dollar amount, you can say,
Yeah.
my personal opinion is, I don't know why we would be budgeting a $500 or $1,000 expense, but you say, you know what, if it aggregates to 5,000 or 10,000, you'd aggregate it, but if it's over that, you wouldn't aggregate, you'd keep it separate.
Yeah, well, think like postage machine, copy machine,
Yes.
You put it all
postage,
together.
that,
Office
Yeah,
equipment. I mean, it could be an office equipment line.
Yeah.
Here's what we don't want though, is once you guys approve budget and it's set and the first of the year this comes out for the first time, the department heads, I mean, they're spending their budgets. So we don't wanna lose track of
No.
what's being spent, and that's why another reason we got granular is,
Yeah, we don't wanna go overboard with that,
right,
for sure. I'm sure there are plenty of places where we could merge some of these in. Longevity payments, why do we need to put $200 longevity off of the salaries? But,
Yeah.
yeah, we miscellaneous that we have a $100,000
Exactly, I hate
budget
that,
with one
I
line
hate
item.
that category, I'll always have. I will say, since we're on that same topic, then when we get to the NROs and talk about them, this year they were put into Gateway as appropriated accounts. And so we have that same issue. You might have $100,000 in the NRO, but if we only appropriated 50,
Yeah.
that's all we can spend. So even though there's tons of money sitting there, we can't spend it, and we're gonna have to come back and say, do an additional appropriation. It's an easy one, the money's there, it doesn't increase the budget, but it's still weeks of process, right? So
So by state law, do NRO funds have to be appropriated to spend?
so there's a little button when she puts it in the Gateway that says, is this an appropriated fund or not? Last year they all got checked as they were, that's why we're in that situation.
Generally, yes.
So
The answer is generally yes.
this year, what we're gonna do is, I mean, yes, we wanna appropriate what we're gonna spend, but that button means DLGF will review it, and it comes like this regular budget. So we can have her not check that box and say it's an unappropriated line. I've prepared the sheets to appropriate the money anyway, because we need to, but it doesn't come under DLGF review like everything else does, and we'll appropriate it out because we wanna know how the department heads are spending.
So for throughout the
Always
year, if in those funds, if a line item exceeds the appropriated value, would we still come back and do a appropriation?
I think.
Depends.
That's where.
So there's
the button in
categories.
Gateway is different than state
Correct.
requirements for accounting and appropriations, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
There's all these kind of rules on whether or not it's within, like, and let's just say there's 4 SBOA categories, and if you're within if you're moving money within the same category, no. If you're moving money between categories, yes. If you're taking money out of a fund and appropriating more, then you've got an ordinance, you've got a public notice, you've got a hearing, and then you do. So there's a lot of layers to it. We're trying to smooth out the administration of it.
Yeah.
But also I still have the same level of transparency on the transaction level.
what we didn't wanna do is say, if Nicole's got $150,000 in her NRO, we'll appropriate
We don't wanna do
$150,000 for her, and then
But that's where we're at.
where to
Okay.
go?
That's kind of my concern,
I don't wanna do that.
the more we set up NROs for different departments, from a council standpoint, I kind of hate to lose control over, if something does get out of hand spending wise there, we need
Yeah,
to be.
we don't wanna lose track of
You,
what we're
I don't think you
spending.
will, because I think you'll get your reports, right? So you'll still have your appropriation reports. And then, we're working with Shirley really well on clearing out negatives, right? So we're not waiting till December, but there's just, there's money moving around that, based on our estimates, was just a little short, so you do have to do transfers, but the intention is to still appropriate the money out of the NROs, so you see it when it flips into those categories and has to go to a council action like you'll see on Tuesday. I don't think you'll lose any information over what's happening inside of NRO. The NROs have worked really well for us for transparency purposes. We've taken stuff out of a big fund that nobody ever saw how it was dissected, and then also for creation of more revenue to support the sustainability of the department. But there's a lot of layers with it.
Okay, can we go on to the
Yeah,
next
you can.
category? We have 12 categories.
We do.
Any more questions?
All right, last one.
One more question?
So, on that topic, the high cash flow NROs, and I think the airport rotary fund is probably the best example, right?
Yeah.
The fuel comes in, it's paid out of that, and the receipts go into that.
Yes,
Did that get checked as an appropriated fund? Because that was a topic that came up a couple
we
years ago.
did not do a budget for the Rotary Fund.
Okay.
We
Because
did
it
the
came-
NRO,
We set up
and we
the
did their
fund,
general
but we
fund.
didn't do it.
A couple of years ago, or last year, one of the two, we had it listed as a fund on the cash, I think. Because we talked about, do we need to appropriate if they're gonna spend, I don't know, $400,000 for fuel, and they're gonna get 500,000 receipts, and it's gonna cover itself, but do we still need to appropriate
Yeah.
400,000 for that fuel?
I know what you're asking. I'm not as familiar with some of their agreements, and I don't know on their Rotary Fund if it has special provisions in it just because it's an airport Rotary Fund. some reason I was thinking that they can
I,
spend it.
I don't know what the airport board's done. We've not appropriated because it is strictly for fuel and lubricants, and it is governed by a state statute, so we've not been appropriating money to that.
Would that be comparable to the water department, if they raise their own revenue,
Could-
so it's?
Yes, and that, yes, it could be.
Yeah, I think
And
there's
then there's also
somewhere
another
like that.
governing board overseeing all of those.
For this, I guess the campground, Sunrise, Crystal Beach, those NROs, we did appropriate, or at least we're budgeting for
Yes.
those, so that we get revenues coming in,
Yes,
expenses coming out,
yes.
we're appropriating for you, but same kind of thing, cash flow, we got,
It's cash flow. Here's the problem, and this is why this year we want you to see how we intend to appropriate it, but we're not gonna tell the state that it's an appropriated budget, because the cash flow. I mean, think about Sunrise, when they open their season in 1st of March or whatever it is, well, they've had expenses, but they didn't have any, you know, when it takes Tim till like 1st of June, and he's out of the appropriations, he's out of the cash that's coming in to cover his appropriations. So the fund was negative, even though there was plenty of money left in the appropriation lines, the cash hadn't come in yet, because his season hadn't started. And we had to go through all of that, because surely you don't wanna pay the bills, because there was no money in the fund. But it's a cash flow issue. So I think this will help with all that.
Okay, communications. Videographer. So I know every once in a while they'll do a really cool drone video for something. Is it really that expensive? Cause it's about once or twice a year. Would that be a
Well, we
fair
normally do a
guess?
contract where we've had years, and I think our budget's probably crafted off of four videos.
Okay.
We haven't done one this year, we're working on one now. It is, I mean, if you wanted to cut some there, we could probably do that, but it would just mean you do half as much.
Do 7,500.
It really is that expensive.
It is
Yeah.
expensive.
We
I do
have
know, yeah. I was
professional
gonna say, it is-
people
yeah,
doing
it's not
it.
cheap.
The last two people that we've had doing that, and that's their thing.
Pro Media and Joey Ernst, they're both
I'm
really,
not
really
saying you
good.
don't
so-
need it at
Yeah.
all. I was just wondering how much.
Yeah, it really is that
Well, if
expensive.
you've only done, only one so far this year, there'd be money left in that
Yeah.
fund already.
It would go back to general.
Yeah.
No,
Well, it
yeah, I was
reverts.
saying it reverts back.
Okay.
Unless you encumber it.
So there's a 5% increase in this department, so where's that increase?
It's the,
Oh, we're
it's
moving
the
all the,
perf.
yeah,
Yeah,
God, I have all those circled. I read my answer.
yeah, I had a circle too.
so yeah, so this year we spent 0 on videographer, year to date.
Right, we haven't done one yet, we're working on one
Right.
now.
And then when that reverts back to the general fund, then you can make up for little things here and there with that money? Is
You
that
can
true?
reappropriate it.
That's what I mean, okay.
Yeah.
That would be an easy one to cut out. Scale back everything up twice and pull the video from those, right?
Have to be part of our job.
So, one other thing, and Bob, I want you to correct me if I'm wrong on this. I think with our communications director, is she going down to a 30-hour work week?
32 hours.
So should we change the salary reflect 32?
Let's see.
That would be an adjustment I don't think I made in here. I think that happened after I did her budget sheet, maybe. Yeah, we can adjust, because what we did is adjust it down to an hourly rate.
Yeah, I was gonna say, cause it,
Just their salary down to
yeah, you would
equivalent.
adjust it
Yeah.
down, it stays the same hourly rate, it just
Yeah.
goes down to 32 from a 40. And so it'll mean, somewhere probably around $10,000.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
Thank
an
you.
easy- Yeah,
I was gonna ask that too, I had that circled.
I just wanted to, it's $10,000, so.
yep,
Mhm.
no, that's an easy.
Well, you wanna take 5 off of the videographer and then reduce this budget by 15?
Can I reappropriate it right now?
No, no.
I mean, we don't
Well,
have
let
to.
me just mention this
We
now,
don't
until we
have
get
to,
to the
but-
food and beverage, that Patrick and I are gonna get our hands and knees and ask you to consider appropriating a small amount, like $5,000 to $10,000 for John Paul Park.
Maintenance at John Paul Park, not any kind of capital improvements.
Okay, so just
Yeah.
keep that in
Okay.
mind as we
All right,
go.
we'll
I will
get
tell
there.
you, that's a perfect use for it.
I mean,
That's-
I know,
that's
so
what
I'm
you-
just, if there
yes.
wasn't, if I can't find a place in food and beverage,
He said
I'd like to come back to this money right here.
So I have no problem putting money in Jones Park. Is it a separate line item or is it just bumping
Police
up
can't make them, yeah.
parks?
Separate line items, what we'd like to.
Yeah.
Cause as, there's a committee working on plans to redo the entire park, but that would all be privately fundraised. So the thinking here is to go ahead and establish a maintenance
Get
line
a
item.
little bit
So-
to help mow grass and drag the field while we build the park back.
Is this paying a non-city?
No,
No, just
No.
So we have to,
there's dirt, there's chemicals, there's all that stuff.
but I guess when it comes to pay a mowing person, their
It's
salaries
city,
coming out
yeah,
of the park.
we do it.
Well,
Anyway,
improvements to the ball field and.
so
and
supplies,
fence and-
materials and supplies.
I like it.
Contract services.
I don't think you're gonna get any.
Five or 10.
Yeah, I have no problem with that, I
Yeah.
just wanna make sure we put it in there.
But is food and beverage the best
And
place for
appropriate
that? I mean, I
sources.
just wanna mention this savings that we were making here.
So,
There's a-
Like to come back to if we couldn't find food
There's
and
a
beverage
line
money.
item.
Do you use the food and
You know,
beverage?
say
What's
well,
that
there's a
for?
fund for John Paul,
Yeah.
but I don't think it's we have never appropriated anything out of it.
Correct.
There's a grounds repair and maintenance parks,
Yeah,
and we can increase that amount, or you can create a dedicated,
We would like to create a
a new,
dedicated.
new line.
within food and beverage.
But I would much rather just take it from the food and beverage.
Okay,
and cut
I'm fine
this.
with that. I just wanna make
Cleaner.
sure while we were cutting here.
Cleaner, isn't it?
What
Yeah.
did you say?
It's cleaner.
I'd rather cut what we just cut,
Yeah,
cut it down in the communications.
yeah,
And then use the
go
food and
to-
beverage is what
Yeah.
that's supposed to be
Okay,
for.
we're fine
and
with that.
Cause I think
Create
you're
your line
gonna have,
item.
Okay,
What was the other cut?
you're gonna have room in food and beverage,
Yeah.
we were room and service.
Salary.
yes, the videography to 10, right?
I
Take
think
it down to 10,
Yeah, you
just
said down to
cut
10,
5.
down to 10, down
And
5,
then
and then the director will come
Refigure the
down,
salary.
around 10,000, it'll be, you know,
Okay,
I can do the numbers, but it's
Yeah.
gonna be close.
cool, alright. Anybody else on communications?
What was the drop in the director's salary?
She's going from 40 hours a week to 32.
2 half days.
Big 13,500.
Yeah, I was close.
Even better, whoop, whoop, saving money, look at us.
So, law, budget.
Yep,
Oh, there's a hard one.
This is really hard.
I like your sarcasm. I got no problem with law whatsoever.
Yeah, I don't say that.
No comments.
No comments, Josh, anything? Josh?
No.
Josh's? Alright, let's move to mayor.
Overall, the budget's down, which is great. So, I don't have anything on any of them. It's all.
In your notes, Mindy, where it says deputy mayor, should that really be director of finance?
Yeah, I will
Okay.
work with her, when I put Form 1 together, I'll go make sure that some of these are corrected,
Okay,
the titles, yes,
I just wanted to double check. I was pretty sure it was.
yes.
Questions, anybody on mayor's stuff? Josh's?
Nope.
Alright, so we're going to PP.
What?
PPD, is that? No,
PP.
it's not PPD.
PPD in
I
our,
have, no.
Did we do that last
we did
night
that.
with
We
economic?
I
did that
We
last
did.
night, cause that
What
was,
was it then? I have PP something.
no, should be
Well, maybe that's-
CCD.
I have that one after that. Okay, so CCD it is.
okay.
Cause we did them in order, I just
Yeah.
thought we had not done that one. But I know Tony did all the training stuff.
And obviously the big increase here is building facility maintenance, $113,400.
And that, again, really, that depends on where we land on our max levy, and that was the reason for increasing, reestablishing our CCDF rate. Remember we did that a couple months ago? We've got to do some facilities improvements, like we talked about last night, the city hall, and street department and other assets like that are just starving for investment.
Is your security
got
stuff,
issues
is that
around
also
here,
City
too.
Hall in this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's part of the
It probably
building,
would be.
part of the building stuff, and then I have camera dollars elsewhere.
Security surveillance.
Oh, you know, it's right there,
That's
yeah,
what I thought.
I did have that.
Also,
So,
Yeah, no, it is, that is.
there's some new things in that I'm happy to talk about, not sure that we will.
Can you talk about it on camera?
Executive session.
I mean, I
We'll talk
seriously.
about it in executive session.
Okay, But there's 51,600 for security surveillance that you're wanting, and then 113,400 for building, upgrading, stuff like that, right?
Maintenance, it's all over the board.
Like
And
the,
it's the dropping, I mean, it's just,
I mean, look at Brown Jim.
the ideal,
City Hall.
but that's a different
So I
plan.
know,
Right.
but that's just, I'm
But-
just saying, you got City Hall's got huge
but the
issues.
2 air conditioning units that I had to replace, that's why I had to take it out of building and structure dollars all over the place. That was a big hit that we had to plan
Oh.
for, so that would give us,
Oh.
like, you know, when the air conditioning goes out, you don't have a choice.
Right.
So, but it also includes, if one needs to be repaired.
I have a question, should that go to a reserve, and then we appropriate out of the reserve? Because the way this would be now is it would revert, and then we'd lose, because we're trying to build money up to
Well,
make,
that-
to make an investment.
Well, I mean, that was actually where I was gonna ask
Yeah.
next, that was gonna be, do you already have like a list of things that all this is going to, and it's gonna be done in 2026? Or you're going, hey, no, we just wanna have this money, cause we don't wanna get hit with this
We wanna
air
start
conditioning
building
thing
it up.
again, and we know there's things that could go wrong, and which I'm totally agreeable to, because I'd rather that happen than us trying to scramble, trying to find money, and we don't have.
Right.
Yeah, a building and facility maintenance reserve
Reserve
fund
fund
would
makes
be
sense.
So let me ask you this, would I have to
Can we do
create a
that?
different fund, or could I just add a new appropriation line in here that at the end of the year, if that line wasn't spent, we just transfer it down into the reserve fund, cause it's all gonna revert to CCD.
We can do, I
Yeah.
mean, we could either leave it the way it is, and then transfer create a reserve and then transfer it at the end of the year, if we don't spend it.
Can we?
All we're really trying to do, right, is accumulate money that's not utilized in the
Right.
current year.
So there'd be you'd create a reserve line.
But I don't think, I just talked myself
Well,
out of
we're
that,
at-
I don't think that would help it, because
Yeah.
it's all gonna revert.
It's all gonna revert back.
The appropriations are gonna revert,
If you don't specifically transfer.
but you'd have to transfer it to a fund.
Yes, we'd have to create the
Or
fund
you
and
could
transfer.
leave it in the fund and let it build in the CCD fund.
No.
I think there's too many other uses that could come
It
out
does
of that
stand.
fund. I think.
I think you wanna create a building and facilities fund.
There's a lot of other uses that come out of CCDF that might be
Yeah.
But I think
problematic.
we have one, we just haven't been funding it. I think there's already a cap reserve fund.
Yeah, there is, and great.
Yeah, then just,
Just put that 113 into that.
Yeah, we could just do a year.
What is CCD, is that,
CCDF, Cube Cap
Is that
Development
Cube
Fund.
okay, I say, don't do the letters, tell me what it is, okay, Cume Cap Development,
Right.
Fund.
thank you. I'm like, common council,
So for
community
example-
crossings,
So for example, like that fund was how City Hall was bought from the bank. That's where they funded the 10-year note from the bank out of that fund.
Yeah.
so $40,000 for trees,
Is that the?
Hmm?
Oh, no, that's Tim Terry,
thank you.
that's Tim Terry's budget.
Well, I mean, it's not Tim Perry's salary, is it? It's,
No,
it's,
it's his
it's,
budget.
it's the money we use to prune, remove, replace.
But it's going up
Our-
12,000, so that's what
our-
she's asking.
our trees.
You know, so. we're
It went up
expecting-
last year, this is not an increase this year,
Oh, it did, well, last year it's showing 28.
Maybe that's
because he
wrong.
had a partial,
These are wrong.
he had a,
Partial number.
the other portion of that 40 was in a different budget.
Was in a different budget.
Sorry. I keep. Okay.
Last year's bucket was 28.
So it did go up, so did they request
It only went up like $2,000 or something. He had two amounts in two different, I think he had one in parks
oh,
and this one.
remember I saw another one.
Oh, it's your consult.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had
No.
proposed 2025 for 40,000.
Yeah, we did not increase it this year, we increased it
Oh,
last
yeah,
year.
there it is.
Okay,
Yeah.
But it was only a
It's
couple
that
thousand.
24, it was.
Tim Perry's budget.
so he's got some in parks and some here.
No, not anymore. It's all in.
Now they.
Okay, I thought it was, remember I pointed one out earlier?
Yeah.
And you were
Last
like,
year.
giving me a hard time about the trees.
Food
Food and
What's
beverage,
that?
did I
What's
see
that?
some in there? We'll see
No.
later.
What's that?
All right.
All right, anything else?
Pension.
Is the reason.
Oh, I did wanna tell you on that surveillance piece, it's not all new equipment. Right now, we have the riverfront cameras, the Main Street cameras, I don't even know where else there's cameras.
The bicentennial bathrooms cameras aren't working right.
And comfort station, so I have a quote out for security pros to put in their cameras in bicentennial bathrooms, cause
That
we just need to
system's,
do that.
it's old.
So
But there's also
Right.
cameras at, I think Comfort Station, and those bills go, like, the police department gets a bill, and we get a bill, Parks gets a bill, and then they send them all to all of us, and so we're all getting these bills repeated, I'm like, who's paying the bill? So, they're all.
Okay, but I wanna clarify something, cause this is public. You said in the bathroom, they're not actually in the bathrooms, they're on the
They're on the outside
exterior,
of the building.
okay. Just- From a public standpoint.
For your comfort.
Yeah.
You know, my HR ears went up and,
Thank you.
That's why you're here.
We appreciate it.
That's why you wanna go.
Okay, anything else on CCD before we move on? Pension.
The school teacher's taking over.
Good.
MPD pensions,
I think it's set, I don't know. whether we're gonna-
configured by, the pension secretary, which is Mr. Munt. And he does a calculation, he knows what the retiree benefits are going out and what they'll need to be, and
In
then
and
that's
out.
what they request from the
Clearing
pension.
account, basically.
Yeah, it's an in and out.
Okay,
Local roads.
I got nothing. Anybody else? LRS it is. Local roads and streets.
We're gonna have a lot of striking.
Well,
Asphalt.
Asphalt.
yeah.
Is the
it's-
Main Street project not included in this, is it?
So this budget is used to pile money to meet our match for CCMG.
Oh, okay.
So when the bills come in, we would just take it out of these line items and then move to another one when it's empty. But this year, because of the bond we did last year for the Main Street work, we have the benefit of using these dollars in this year's budget to do some miscellaneous projects. Sidewalk that needs to get
Neighborhoods, yeah.
replaced, a small paving job, something like that. That's rare because normally 100% of these
Has to go
dollars
for a
go to
match.
match.
Okay.
And we've constructed the budget to try and get $500,000 for infrastructure in here so that we can ask for $1 million
Okay,
project, which is the limit.
okay. All right, so let's go to city tax then.
County tax.
County tax, just kidding. Why? Is it me either?
Yeah, those lines, people think, what the?
Kelly Jones or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
What about CCI? Did we ever do that one?
No.
CCI?
Did we skip it?
Ooh, we missed it.
Oops.
Cigarette tax.
Yeah, it's a tiny one. It's a
Sorry.
cigarette tax, which is going down every year.
I missed it.
It's right before tax.
And it's,
As much as the cost to buy cigarettes and the taxes going down, that's nuts.
so it's not benefiting us, that's for sure.
The state cuts us and then they take the revenue.
Only thing that might happen here is that city parking lot lease. That's a pretty reasonable number for renting that parking lot all year, and it has a new owner now. So I need to renegotiate with him. He says he doesn't wanna make any changes. Hopefully that's true.
Which
but
parking lot is that?
It's the one behind City Hall, the extra
Oh,
parking.
yeah, gotcha.
Isn't that for sale?
The gravel
It's-
part.
It
Yeah.
was for
Somebody
sale
bought it.
and sold.
Oh, somebody did buy it.
Yeah.
Most expensive piece of real estate in all of Jefferson County's history.
We had it appraised, we had it appraised.
Per-
We
per
looked at it.
square
Holy
foot.
crap.
Yeah,
We looked at it, but it was
He was asking what?
3 times the appraisal.
45 or something?
Yeah, something like that.
You got it.
You got
Yeah.
real close to that.
Kudos to
Yeah,
him.
yeah. We had it appraised.
Landlocked.
You know you wanted to do it. You were
Oh, I
gonna pull
want
the trigger.
Yeah, but I wasn't, I'm not.
We wanted it, we just didn't want to overpay for it.
Maybe which one is that
But-
lease, of that parking lot?
It's the
Very first.
very first line, the 2100.
I missed a grant, anyway, we go back to county tax.
Oh, yeah. City parking lot.
I'm wanting to skip over that completely. Okay. I know, sorry.
Now we know county tax.
All right, so now let's do county tax.
Okay.
Did you guys have any questions on public safety, or did we go through that?
We haven't been there
adequately
yet.
tonight? Huh?
We did, but I think.
Oh, you're going through, I'm sorry, I'm going on my tab, it must be.
We're going in the order of our
Oh,
books here.
okay, sorry about that, guys. County.
Okay, I would like to make my plea once again for PACE grants on the Hilltop.
We have it.
We have a curb appeal thing that.
No, we don't, we just did a $25,000, PACE, dangerous and dilapidated, or anywhere in the city, as well as curb appeal, which is smaller.
Curb appeal I know about.
And we have dangerous and dilapidated, we just did a $25,000 grant for that burnout house on Allen Street. Over there.
That's me.
railroad tracks,
Okay.
down where Mission Noble is.
Yeah.
So I can promote that in my district.
Yes,
Thank you.
dangerous and dilapidated, right?
That's, it has
It's
to
not a
be
rehab,
that.
it's not a rehab grant. It's for the worst of the worst.
You know, sometimes people on the hilltop wanna fix their house up too.
I get it. I get it. The-
Dangerous and, I got some of those too. Okay.
We try to concentrate it so that you really see the difference.
Yeah, okay. I guess I didn't realize the
What's
distinction.
the technology needs of
Oh,
50,000?
gosh.
A drop in the bucket?
All right, stop. No, but it is
I-
50,000, so we need to
Here's
understand.
the thing, it's a budget for the contract amount for support, they give us pretty much 24/7 support. Some things are included in this in the contract price, but if there's, somebody needs extra work that's not included in the contract, I will get an additional bill for that. So that eats into my appropriation. And then the other piece is equipment. All of our equipment is so old. We took a huge expense to upgrade all the licensing, the way it is compliant. It would have, I mean, we needed to do that. That's a big part of this expense. But, and we have all the licensing right now, but now it's equipment. We have a list of equipment, machines that are going to not be supported anymore by Microsoft support, patches, anything. I think that's October 1st. We have a lot of equipment that has that old on it.
Yeah, you gotta get away from
So it's not like they're gonna quit working on October 1st, but if something goes wrong, we're going to have to replace it, right,
It's
Jen?
like Y2K.
So there, yeah, so there is there's extra money in here to start replacing machines that have to get done.
Okay.
And we're gonna feather it in, right? Like if I can afford to do 2 or 3 this year, we'll keep our fingers crossed that those other machines don't have any problems till the end of the year. But I'll be coming to you to ask for more technology dollars this year too.
I think 3 years ago, we were way upside down.
Oh, it's terrible. The licensing was bad.
We had a personal license.
But they also wanted to renegotiate that contract,
You had
so
a personal license before? And I was on
Last
it because I had that population.
Right.
Anything more on this?
What's the very last category in that one? County tax V and A struct seed.
So that is because we created the vacant and abandoned structure fund. We need to start, it's like the nuisance NRO. You're gonna start doing that work and have expenses, but
Okay.
you're not gonna have revenue for a while, so we're
Okay.
seeding that fund with $25,000 from county tax. Next year, we won't have to do that.
Okay, that makes perfect sense.
And we did a separate budget for that.
And this, what was the lease purchase principal and interest, which one's that?
In county tax,
Yeah.
what line is it say?
339 is the funded
Is
number.
that the fleet program?
Yes, that's our fleet.
The, which,
All the cars through enterprise. And that honestly should start going down too, because Chris Hale is managing that and structuring that to where we turn the cars back in sooner when the return rate is higher and it's guaranteed up front, so we should actually pay less.
So last year, we had an Main Street program in that category. I noticed it's down 11%. Is that because we pulled some things out of there? Is that the county?
The overall budget for the
The
county
overall
is down
budget for
11%.
the county
Oh,
tax?
Because
Yes.
you're able to move
It's
some
gone
stuff
down.
to a
Yes.
possible food and beverage.
And some of that, it's also, look at that medical insurance line, number 162. That was medical insurance for police.
Oh, okay.
And that went to police?
Yes.
Okay.
is the revenue into this fund coming down as well, or is?
We don't know yet. That's the new lit that we have to establish. So I
That'll be
just,
the
It,
fall-
uh,
That'll be the following year, right?
I just
Yes.
used,
We would establish the municipal rate in 27 and for 2028. We're not expecting that revenue is declining, although we're working off of the estimates that the LGF has given us.
They have not given us
And this is
estimates
another
on
one of
lit
those,
yet.
another one of those where you do your budget and then they certify it like in March or April.
Yeah, they have not given us, their estimates are not out yet on lit, but I used last year's number.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna complain about an 11% increase, I'm just curious if we thought the funding was going down or if it was.
I'm hoping it'll go up, but I just don't know, so I'm not gonna budget it.
It's really weird that lit is distributed based on your property tax rates. And the new municipal rate's gonna be distributed based upon your incomes. Collective on income, and it's just straight, they use a real estate tax, district tax rate structure for distribution. And that's all gonna change in 2028 after the new rates get adopted. Income tax, but distributed based on your real estate assessed values.
Is that it? Well, I guess, I thought we had done lit public safety.
We did.
Probably did the police side.
We did.
Okay. Good,
We
because
did.
we have fire
Fire,
questions
yeah,
on it too.
And police.
Alright, so the next one I have is the RV district.
Riverboat. Blue boat money.
Oh, yeah,
It's
this
going down.
money's going away. I'll just tell you.
Is it at the end of their commitment?
No, it's
No.
just, there's just not.
They're, that revenue has gone down and down. I think it was 88.
88's what's in there.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm putting 88 in there, but we may not get that much. I don't have the revenue.
Gambling is not what the younger crowd wants to go do. They're not gambling like
Well, they are.
We
parents
are
and stuff.
on the call.
Yeah. do it.
Differently, yes, they're
Oh.
gambling differently.
Sports books.
Sorry, yes.
Stuff now.
Right here.
Yeah.
True,
Yeah.
sorry. But they're not
They're
going
not
to
going
the
to
casinos
Belterra,
and stuff.
yeah.
They're not
And
going
then
like-
also,
Told people.
Belterra's location doesn't really pay off anymore with all these casinos in
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati now. You're losing all of that.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
too
Louisville
many.
and
Now, they will, now Rising Suns will be closing.
Like completely?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're transferring that license up
Up
to
to-
Fort Wayne.
Yeah, it's going to Fort
Oh,
Wayne.
wow.
That happens in 26. So it might, you might see, it'll have some impact, but.
So you're saying we shouldn't depend too much upon this category for much longer?
I would not.
Bonus, you get it.
Okay, I don't have much.
Did we overspend the
Overspend.
Do you know what we actually received last year?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to check. I was looking
Okay.
for fund
As
number.
of
2235.
the end of July, we received 21,294 this year so far. Halfway through the year.
That's where we started the year. That 21,294, that was the
Oh, no,
beginning
no,
balance.
sorry, wrong line.
That was what was left in the fund at the end of the year was 21,000. So
Okay.
we did not spend the full budget out of there, but
We got zero at this.
it doesn't look like we received any year to date.
Oh, wow.
Well, that's, but I think, they only pays once a year.
Yeah, I don't
Oh, it's
remember
done
what
twice
it
a year,
is.
like the other stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
I
it
can't
comes
remember
once
what
a
it
year,
comes
Cause it comes directly from the state, I think.
$700,000.
Yeah, it comes directly from the state.
In 24.
Hello, Spot.
I'm good, how are you?
Oh,
So
okay.
this year.
Well, so those things that you do have possibly giving it to, are we okay if those don't get funded?
We have professional.
Well, that's why it's kind of miscellaneous categories, sorry, I didn't have it pulled up. It would hopefully be something like the infrastructure funding we would need, the Main Street money we would need, professional fees, you know, again, it's just one of those things, we try to get as much as we can, but, those two others, the Main Street and the infrastructure, we'd have to find another place to put it.
$58,000.
So we received, in 24, we received 82,987.
Yeah, so,
So under the 88 that was planned for. So expecting to go down further.
So we know what our priorities are if we only get 50 whatever. Okay.
So do we need to go ahead and bump this down or not?
I mean, there's money in the fund,
Well, not as of July 31st, there wasn't.
well, not
No, there's money left
revenue,
over, there's 21,000.
not revenue, but we started the year with 21,000, so,
What fund is that, Mindy?
Riverboat,
It says negative at this moment.
What is it? What's the
Well,
fund?
it's
At
negative.
the end of the year,
Because
when we
we
get
haven't-
disbursement,
Yeah, when the disbursement comes.
We haven't
later in the
received our
year,
revenue,
it'll
so
pop back up.
we
What?
spent 60 so far.
What's the fund number?
24, or 2235.
2235.
Oh, 2235.
So we've, yeah, oh, I see what you're saying.
2235?
We spent 64.
Yeah, so if we assume that that was half the year and half the amount, then we would be on track for 120,
Yeah,
have a
yeah.
budgeted 88 and a likely disbursement of sub 80 or 80.
They didn't have riverboat estimates out either, they should, so I can bump it down, I can get rid of the professional fees. I cannot get rid of the fire equipment reserve,
Okay.
so,
So I'd probably drop it when.
when
Just
we
to-
get the
just to-
estimates, if they're not estimating, I can drop it.
To 68.
Right.
Which that would be probably pretty conservative still.
Okay, anything else on that one? Okay, we're going to degree, oh,
At the lit public safety, there were a few things in there I don't think we did get covered. The county jail construction dropping from 675 to 554.
That's part of his negotiated agreement from 50% down to 41%.
Working on it.
Yeah,
Another
but
one of
it's
those
not,
long
it's not set in
things.
stone.
Okay. Okay, I think that's it.
What's that?
we had a question on the lid, so we thought we had covered most of
So
it
we're
last night with.
Actually, we're working on it. We're working on it.
We had one question. Okay, so PPDVA.
That's the new, one of the new ones. That's the vacant and abandoned, that we are seeding 25,000 from county tax fund to get them started. Cause that will
We
take,
had- That was somewhere else that we just talked about.
County tax.
Okay, so why isn't it here twice then?
cause you have to show it, this is where we're appropriating it out. We appropriated out of county tax to
Oh,
give to vacant and abandoned, and
Yes.
this is where we're appropriating it out of vacant and
oh, you
abandoned,
created it in our own,
so we can
okay,
spend it.
gotcha. Oh, good move. Anybody have a question on that?
An expenditure, authority for that, like BPWS does, or who approves?
That would be BW.
Yeah, so they'll approve that movement once the year starts.
No,
No.
it's in the budget, so the money will automatically be appropriated there, and then the claims get approved through
I
Board of
think
Public
what he's
Works.
saying
Yeah.
is the money from county tax that we're seeding has to get over to this fund somehow.
You can,
And Shirley, we did get her to agree that if you approve it in the budget that it's gonna happen this way, she'll go ahead and make the transfer because you approved both sides of
You
it.
don't have to make a claim.
Correct.
you only,
We'll have to
you've
do-
already appropriated it to that fund.
Yeah,
And then you have to appropriate it a second time, which is what she's doing, it out of the fund.
yes. So I think we can do it internally. I may have
Without
to
the
prepare
BPW.
paperwork for her,
Yeah.
but I'll put her budget ordinance or whatever, and she'll go ahead and make it without having to come to you or Board of Works to get permission.
Because I think that kind of goes back to the thing I talked about last night, with the NROs, that while for the park NROs, while we would love for them to get to break even and self-perpetuating,
Yes.
if we don't really believe that's the case, should we be putting in Parks General or somewhere a overage, buffer, whatever line item for those NROs, appropriating it now, so that it automatically transfers into those NROs and covers those overages or not?
Pros and cons with that approach.
Mhm.
I know, you're right, you're right.
Yeah.
So, I don't have to answer that question right this second
Yeah.
either, but it just
I would
ties
say,
back to that same,
I
how do
would
we make the
say,
process work?
Yeah.
it's process, right, but it feels a little more transparent to me to get down and see, are they making it or not?
Come back.
And come back and tell that story to you, and you guys can ask questions on why. I think, I like that approach, but I also think Sunrise is real close. I mean, I think he's gonna make it this year. That's a $400,000 plan. I think the pool next year will do it. At campground is
Doing it.
cash heavy. I mean, they're,
I get that argument part of it too, the other side of it would be, we're, fooling ourselves if we don't truly believe that they will make it, and we're gonna put a gun to our own heads at the end of next year, that we have to approve that new appropriation to cover the overages that we expected to happen anyway, right?
Well, in reality, you're approving a lot of overages or changes in the budgets at the end of the year either, and all three of those by October, you'll know.
Maybe not end of the year, but some point
Yeah,
throughout the year.
but I'm saying, you know, if you do it, it probably just won't be those three, because there's gonna be some
It won't be,
adjustment.
it won't be those three.
Here's another hesitation is like, we're sitting here now doing this and we know why we would do it. But somebody coming after us, they're not gonna know what that money's for.
It's like, great, we can spend more money.
Yeah. I don't know, it's probably six and one, half a dozen of them.
What's the next budget?
Okay. We've got food and
Are
beverage.
these-
Yes. Oh, did you have something else?
No, I'm just wondering, you know, yesterday, were these, I thought somebody said that these were just for our, just for us to
Which one?
review, but they,
What, bacon and
But-
banana
no,
and food
yeah.
and beverage?
no, the will and TSO and water and sewer.
Utilities, yes, for your review, everything else under
Okay,
your review.
that's what I
Yep.
want to make sure.
Yeah.
Which one are we going to?
Food and beverage.
So this is the one where you would like to have a line for
John Paul Point.
John Paul Park maintenance.
Yes. I would also like to, for us to talk about, our Main Street donation jumped up $25,000. Okay, maybe I'm not looking at it right. Okay, we thought we saw it was 50,000 last year. Can you verify that for me, Josh?
Yes.
That's correct.
And it says 75 this year.
Yeah.
So, was that a mistake?
No.
Okay,
I'm
so-
preparing, they need more money and we need to do more on Main Street. And there's we're gonna be working, I think, on the next few years on doing more master planning for Main Street while also supporting the Main Street organization. So it's a combination of things that we would do through Main Street.
And they have,
So we're master planning for a nonprofit?
no, they
Yeah.
are actually, they've been really good at working with us and Hannah and the mayor on helping us communicate like the Main Street infrastructure stuff. They have boots on the ground for the people that are
Right.
affected by that, and they are helping us more on that stuff.
Well, and food and beverage is targeted toward tourism.
Mhm.
When we moved the $50,000 out of, where was it before, like, was it a
County tax maybe?
So we
Yeah.
moved it all into here and say we need to do more to elevate our Main Street, which is a broader, it's more than just Main Street now. That business corridor, we believe we're gonna be doing more. That's why we also are moving everything into food and beverage,
But
because it's supporting tourism.
was that their full request, what was their request?
Well, generally, we've been supporting them with $50,000,
Right,
but
but
we
it-
haven't gone through a 2026.
Yeah, I
We've
just-
met with them, but we haven't gone
If
through
we
it.
just put Madison Main Street on there, you could take the organization off, and then that money is available for Main Street as tourism.
50 of it is dedicated
Yes,
for
for the
supporting the
organization.
organization. The other 25 is other planning that
Other
we wanna
planning.
do, either on our own or through them.
So is that 25 going to the organization?
Depends.
Depends.
I'd like
Well,
to
I
see
think
it.
we should separate it then.
Well,
Well,
I mean,
because-
so you could put that in the tourism one,
It-
you know, the line item tourism then, you know,
Let's
cause
see
you got placemaking.
You put
tourism.
75 down there.
And put 75 in it instead of 75 in Madison Main Street.
Well, we.
I mean, is there
committed-
opposition of, I mean, do you guys oppose making a bigger commitment to Madison Main Street?
Well, I'm
The
looking,
organization,
Yeah.
I mean, I do right now because I don't know enough to make an additional $25,000 investment. I do know our Madison Main Street has won lots of awards, you know, our historic downtown is getting, you know, accolades, which is great, and we gotta keep going with it. I don't know if by giving 25,000 more to just the organization is the right thing. I think you hit it on the head when you said, we're gonna give 50 to them, but the other 25, we're gonna figure out how we wanna spend that on Main Street. Then that's what I
It
would
may,
do.
it may go through them and it may be something
It may
separate.
not.
I'm just saying is that,
And you don't mean Main Street, you're saying what they represent and what
yes,
they do.
yes,
Right.
Because
not the
they
structure.
represent,
Yeah.
they represent the economic development
Of Main Street.
Yes,
the
exactly.
vitality of downtown.
You said it a lot better than
Yeah.
that.
Of the business corridor.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
So I'm not sure I'm 100% grasping what your intent is, but it feels like I need to have 50,000 on a line, because that is her salary. We cover her salary, correct?
Well, I mean, we'd split it out.
Well,
I mean,
I
But
we've
if,
not
then I
entered,
think we need another $25,000 line for Main Street or
Other?
discretionary.
I mean, it
And
is.
again,
I
I'm
mean, I
thinking-
know where it's going.
I'm thinking
It-
to the
I don't know if
future.
we need to get as granular
the,
as that.
the at-risk youth nonprofits and other stuff, but then an extra 25,000 to the Main Street.
I don't think we cut any of the nonprofits.
Well, we were talking about it,
Right.
and looking at, through the, I mean, if we are.
Well, we're not
trying to scale
supporting
back
them as a
some things.
nonprofit, we're doing exactly what Lucy was describing, which is, we're part of we're part of the planning of the economic vitality of our small business, corridor in downtown Madison.
Which I'm.
So it's bigger, it's 50 of it definitely is to support their budget. They probably have say a $250,000 to $300,000 annual budget, which is, and we're supporting a fraction of it. I just anticipate we need to do more downtown than what we've done, and food and beverage is dedicated to tourism.
Yeah, and I don't disagree with that.
But I don't think we need to.
I don't know.
A separate line. though.
Yeah, I would give you that discretionary in a separate line, rather than saying it's in Madison, Main
Yeah,
Street
that's fine.
Fork.
I lumped them, but if you guys wanna break them out, that's.
I would also say
Yeah.
that back to that same comment of earlier is like, we know what the intent is, but in the future,
No one else.
somebody will just strike a check for $75,000 and give it to Main Street.
So put.
Right.
put
Well, we'll go through the same exercise again next year.
Sure.
2027, right?
So,
I was.
when we say Madison Main Street Tourism and Development, or what's that?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you can put in the next line, you got placemaking tourism.
Yeah, just
That
put it there.
is a general
Just move it
line
over
for
there.
tourism.
Just put it down.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm increasing that to 75 and reducing the one above it to 50.
Yeah.
We gotta find my $10,000 for John Paul Park, please.
I already did it, and
You can, but don't you have to take it away from somewhere else?
We did bump, communications down.
No,
but
we aren't
we're gonna try to find
we-
it
yeah.
in this one.
I
So
don't
this,
wanna-
this one you can take trees, planting, and pruning down to 20 if you wanted, or you could take it down to 25 and take another one.
Put 10 in there for John Paul.
I think we just add it. I think we're real conservative on this
Yeah, I
budget.
think we're gonna be fine.
Okay.
So
If
we're
we're
gonna,
that conservative, let's make
And
it
it's
15.
all.
well,
Well, hey, maybe-
I'm not that strong.
Maybe we can come back in
If we could
June.
use part of that money to mow the hillside, I'd put whatever in there you want.
Yeah, I think let's see what
We
the
need to
revenue
clean that
looks like when
park
it starts
up.
coming in.
So we're gonna
We'll
move the
know, we'll
overall
know.
budget to 710
Yes,
and put that in.
yes.
Okay.
Or did we say 715?
I think I heard 715.
I heard
I heard
715
715.
To mow the
Hey,
hillside.
John Paul Park is.
I did not hear
Important, it's such an important.
All
building.
right.
So you want
I
15?
do have a
15.
question for Mindy, and that this comes down to categories.
Yes,
We put new in there, but we didn't put numbers in there.
because she has to assign
They
them.
gotta get signed.
What,
And
I
when
mean,
she
so
goes-
what would be assigned a 1, 2, 3, or 4?
So personal services, which there probably aren't
Nine.
any in
Okay,
this
so
budget.
no ones.
2 is
Supplies.
supplies. I don't know that there's any.
Would all of it be
Well,
3s?
Probably gonna be
Others?
3s and 4s.
Okay. I just don't wanna get stuck somewhere.
Yeah,
where
no,
we-
there, I
It's
don't.
there, we can't spend it.
Okay, I did
For John
adjust to
Paul.
15 for John
That's
Paul.
good.
Okay.
So,
Thank
there
you.
was the mention that there's a nonprofit group working to come up with a long-term plan for John Paul Park.
They got a great
Well,
grant.
they
we
got-
said, too.
Did you guys still have your meeting today, since we had that active
Yeah,
shooter?
I will.
Okay.
Yeah, 100, we got 140 from Bethany Legacy.
Which order is that specifically?
Dollars in the.
Dog record.
With the DAR.
Okay, that's what I wanted.
Yeah,
Yes, you do.
and
We
that's
just call ourselves the John Paul Park Committee right now.
that 140 grants for putting together a
Master plan.
actual, yeah, and with design specs and all of that.
So it'll end up being figuring out what everyone believes they can raise or we can match, however that comes about.
That's right.
And then determining what a phase 1 project will be, but it'll primarily be the baseball for sure, and, some sort of probably restrooms and a building, so.
And a walking
And
trail.
a walking trail
That will go
that'll go
around the
on-
baseball field,
yeah,
up on top and back down.
And so that'll probably be the phase 1 project, and that's, we're anticipating that to be $1 million.
140,000 for planning and development.
Whatever you do, keep the playground equipment, it's historic.
And then we're talking,
Isn't it crazy?
It was
Millions,
supposed to be
millions.
up to
Oh, it's a
bid,
liability.
and we decided to raise phase one.
If whatever we take out of Welch, we ought to move down there.
so
I thought we were-
as a nonprofit group, you're working to raise money
You know,
for that,
seriously, it'd be way
which is
better.
great.
Well,
What
what we
will
were
the
asking
city,
for today
I
was
didn't
just
know.
a,
All right,
okay.
yeah, totally.
I'm thinking, what's the timeline for this John Paul Park thing, what will the city be interested in supporting the nonprofit fundraising efforts in terms of
Well, it'll be, I mean, they're gonna, they're gonna be
economic-
working with other agencies too, so there's some grant dollars out there and some other stuff, so we haven't fully figured out what everybody feels like that is.
It's in
Bottom
the
line,
plan, just-
we talked today, we
like
need to start to analyze that as a
You
part
looking
of
for
the
dinner?
overall plan and figuring
Oh,
out,
awesome.
is that a 27
She's got some
project?
greasy cuts.
She's already got.
Oh, here's the other part of dinner.
Yeah,
Your other-
earliest will be 27. It'll be, it wouldn't be any earlier than 27.
It's good.
There's,
Will
there's
tax.
a committee meeting
Guide of
with
Champions.
Did we move on or we're still on?
to help with
We're still on.
approving,
Bad.
so we've been working.
Or at
on
least
that.
another budget year away.
Yes.
Yeah, that's still, I think we figured at the latest, we would have all this stuff back to us by like March at the latest, but, Christian thought much earlier than that.
So water,
It'll-
sewer, utilities
it'll
are
be
all
mid-
FYI.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, did we make it down the list?
Wheel tax is what we're on now.
Oh, wheel tax?
Wheel tax.
So why is wheel tax at
It's
50,000
not
in
last
last
year's
year's
budget,
budget?
do it right.
Probably because I did a copy paste on another form.
That's what I was thinking, but I just wanted to confirm.
So that's just a typo.
This is typo.
Yeah.
Okay. Working it out.
Unless I bet, I may have copied that line item, that $50,000 Main Street support from another line item and just didn't, I forgot to take out last year's
Yeah,
number.
I didn't think there could be a last year appropriation for a fund to, that doesn't exist.
okay. So we take that out.
Yeah, over the next couple of years, the Main Street, money for the match to phase 2, which is, we've got to make sure we've got enough going in that, we've got to review that still, so.
So there's a gap there.
There is a gap.
We know there's a gap, and I think that's what the mayor intends to use the rest of the bond money for, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Talking for the Main Street project?
We just need to make sure we've got, we still haven't seen all the, what's in that account, we just need to make sure.
Yeah.
We have, we
We
have,
need
we
to
have to pull
look
that
at those
number,
numbers up
yes.
again. But, so, on the Main Street, the old Main Street fund, I just wanna make sure you all understand. So Bob Cook started putting money in there, he was trying to get to $1 million before they left office, almost made it, it was 9 something. I continued adding, I put in more when I can, then if there's a year we have some room, I'll put more in there. Now we have started spending out of it, some of it is reimbursed and reimbursable, some of it is not. Phase 1, the preliminary engineering stuff is not reimbursable, so we're 100% in on that, so we have paid those fees out of that Main Street fund. Phase 2, the federal grant, is 80/20. Preliminary engineering was included in that, so so what happens is every month when they send me the bill, we pay the bill, then when we get the canceled check back, I take that and submit all that paperwork to NDOT, and they give me 80% of it back, it goes back in that fund, so that fund number is always gonna be changing.
And in 27, LAT, phase 2 of Main Street, which is McIntyre to Mill, which is a big, big stretch. And it's a couple $1 million range.
Okay, so now that we've discussed all of our categories here, I'd like to ask my fellow councilman, where's our fat that we can trim that you mentioned in the meeting the other day? Have you come up with some fat, like after going through everything, line by line?
Yeah, I mean, we could go line by line and really, but I don't think people like it, that's the, as a Main Street program, walk me through it. I think number 1 should be elected official salaries, so. I think those should stay where they are.
And you consider that fat? You think we overpay our people?
Elected officials, if we're asking the taxpayers to contribute more and everything needs to be buckled down, well, I don't think we have any business taking a raise this
Well,
year.
we're taxpayers too, we pay those same fees. I mean, it's not like.
But
we
we're
don't-
elected officials though.
I know, but I'm just saying, we're paying all the same fees that everybody else is.
Yeah, but as public servants, I think we should be setting an example and not taking a raise as our, it's a token contribution towards the overall.
I mean, is that what you meant when you said you thought there was a lot of wasteful spending? That was
No, I mean,
the one thing.
I can sit down, I can walk you through a lot of.
Oh, we're
fine
going through the
detail
budget.
here.
We thought you would do it while we were going
Yeah.
through it, you know, like we've
Yeah.
all questioned different areas, I just didn't know if you had
No,
specific.
I haven't had a time to sit down and go through this specific 26. First time I got a chance to look at this was last night, so, but I mean, we could sit here and walk through it all over again.
I'm
Where
gonna sit here and
where
walk
I'm
through
thinking,
it.
right?
No, I don't wanna go through it again too, I thought he had something in mind when he said that, so I was curious.
No, yeah, I can,
And I thought it would come up during our discussions, you know. so-
I can bring it up, now that I have this in my hands and I can go through it. Yeah, I'm happy to bring it up, I know it won't go anywhere, so,
Well, I would be curious to hear your thoughts,
Yeah.
that's all I'm saying.
happy to.
Okay,
Good deal.
anybody else got anything else? I think we're good.
Can I say something?
Well, wait a second, I mean,
No,
are
you
we
cannot,
talking
sorry.
about the ordinances?
Are we talking about
Are we
ordinances?
done with the budget workshop?
We're done.
I'm done.
Okay.
You want me to turn?
Yeah,
Stop this.
yeah. Well, I mean, go ahead, yeah, if you want, I mean, since you're here. You want to stand up there, Debbie, and announce
No,
yourself?
I just wanna
We told her
say,
to shut
guys,
up.
I really appreciate all the hard work you all do. I never understood like this end of it. And you wonder what the politicians are doing and what they're doing with all this money, and you hear all these amounts. I'm talking from my standpoint, and you just never know. And I really appreciate the effort and the questions you all ask, and you all trying to figure out how to make the budget better. I appreciate that.
Thank you guys for being here.
That's
A
why
lot.
we
I'm not kidding
came,
you.
so that we could fight the keyboard warriors.
Well, I appreciate that, but also
I
understanding.
learned a lot.
And then-
It's hard to do, if you
Well-
don't understand that.
And then I'll just mention too, is that the next step here is that we will take this budget, distill it into a notice to taxpayers,
Right.
and then we'll have a public hearing on it, so everybody can come up there and give their comments and suggestions, and we have essential services which are high quality. We're making investments all across the city, which are much needed. We have plans for the future. I mean, I think we get it right.
Oh.
But there's always room for improvement.
Yeah,
So thank you guys for being here.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate y'all.
I think you should make 6 figures like my son, personally.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I mean,